Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I am streaming some 2D 4X, which is a video game I am making in Godot.net, which is the C# version of Godot. I gotta like click all these things every time. I probably say that every time I do it too. We're to make chat work correctly. We are working on county improvement still for a long time. We've been grinding through these, updating things, fixing things. We actually rewrote like huge amounts of the code, so it's coming. It's getting there, you know. Um, so the main thing we're working on right now is these input resources. So each building, which is a county improvement, and they're called a county improvement. Each resource is needs things that they to build. Well, okay, a warehouse doesn't. A fisher shed, to fish you need input resources, and we're testing it with 1 wood right here. And so what we have working is pretty much nothing. And the first thing we want to do though is double check that this other thing we were doing last time, which always throws a wrench. The same thing happens. I'm double checking some things here because I didn't get my little notification that I am streaming, so I'm gonna do a post in here and make sure it shows up. It did. Normally I don't have to do this anymore, but it didn't post my little thing to my OBS, so I'm gonna do this and make sure. Whoops, we don't need to see Steam. There we go. I guess it's all working. It just didn't work for one thing. Anyways, so we are going to be double checking this. So there's a thing that throws a wrench in my life every time it comes up, and that's that Godot has a duplicate method that will duplicate resources, but it doesn't duplicate certain stuff correctly or at all. And so when we were, I think it was county improvement data, yeah, it was. So we created this new stockpile goods, copy stockpile goods, and it wasn't working, and it wasn't making a copy. So what was happening was it was trying to create this dictionary, and the dictionary would error out because it was creating like one where each county in the world need to have a dictionary of stockpile goods. So each one of these counties, and we just have 7 test counties right now. It's these 7 here. Each one of these needs to have each one of these and each county improvement inside of them need to have a stockpile of the goods that it's holding to build stuff for input goods. So like, if there's 5 people who work at the fisher shed, there needs to be 5 wood in there that they're going to turn into fish. So that's the stockpile goods. And what was happening is it was only making one list for every county improvement. So if there's a fisher shed here and a fisher shed here, it's the same stockpile list, and it would error out. So I think we fixed that because we're not getting any errors. Joker, how's it going? It's I call that glory days or salad days. When you have a friend that just, back in my day, things were so much better, and then they tell about one time I made a touchdown, and you're like, no one gives a shit, man. Yeah, good old salad days. Back in the salad days, I used to have a girlfriend. All right, now I'm making fun of myself. So anyways, that's what we're working on, and it seems I'm pretty sure that this is working now, because otherwise we would be getting errors. So I'm just going to pretend that we know that this is working. And then what I'm also going to do is check this off. We're going to make sure, and that's made sure. We're just going to close this issue. I just want to close this issue, so we'll not test it anymore because I don't want to do it. And that's the joys of working for yourself, is you just can say, I don't want to do that, and then you don't do it. So I'm pretty sure that was working, though. I'm trying to think if there's a way we could look at that. Oh, that was the other thing we were trying to do, is make it so we could see this in the remote. So we would go to counties. Oh, we did. We looked at all this crap. And then we went to county data, and then we went to their completed thing, which is 0 right now because nothing's been built. So let's actually build something. Well, I guess we are going to make sure that this works. We're going to build this. Go to here. What are some of your glory day stories, Joker? That's been completed. And we have 5 people working there. That seems right. They're not working. These guys are scavenging. Unhelpful. Perfect. Pause it with spacebar. That works. And then here, we should be. This should be. Was that a problem that we were having though? This doesn't say that there's any county improvements. I think this was the problem we were running into, is we couldn't look at this. No, I think we did look at this. We're in remote. I feel like this isn't refreshing. So we're in Portland. Completed county. I can't remember. There was a way I was looking at this and I was making sure, because I was able to look at, maybe it wasn't here though. It was under like the player UI or something. I cannot remember. Man, I had to go into the office, removing my office at work, and I was thinking about this like on Monday and Tuesday. I kept thinking about what I wanted to do with this and the changes, and I even thought about firing up Godot, and then the move in the office just threw my mind completely out of hobby time and into work time. Yeah, I can't remember how I was looking at these things. It wasn't through the faction, because I remember that was the problem. We would go to that was a different problem. We would go, oh, you know what we might have been doing? Go to here, and then we were looking at stockpile goods, which I don't see. Oh no, but that would be under county improvement. Just this thing says 0. I don't know why sometimes we can't see inside these things. Let's go back to the shipbirds here. Let's go to here. We have in here yesterday's goods, amount, faction dictionary, all county improvements. This is not going to show us what we want, but it kind of does. This is a fisher's shed. This will show us the stockpile goods, but this is going to always be 0 because we're not. This is like a template that your counties can copy from, because if you've done the research, it gets added to this list. So this was one way we were double checking, but it wasn't what I wanted. I forgot that we couldn't look at these, and I don't know why we can't. It seems like we should be able to. County data, it's got to have an export on it or it wouldn't show up here. Let's look at county data real quick, just for fun here. Yeah, all this shit has export on it. And that's in this county. All has export on it. I wonder why yeah. It's strange that we can't see inside this. I mean, we can see inside it, but it's all empty, but it's not really empty. This shit wouldn't work if it wasn't empty. Or, I mean, if it was empty. I wonder if there's something weird going on where there's like another one. So while the game's running, I wonder if I change something. Oh, I can't change anything. I was going to put like a 1 at the end of this and see if it reflected, but I can't change that. Trying to think of anything else that... Yeah, so these are the, you know, the one part that I often go like, why is there nothing here? These are created. This is created, I don't want to get too sidetracked here, but this is created during the map editing process, and it's saved on disk. So it's reading this stuff from disk, but then the things should be getting duplicate, like should be getting added. Let's go up to it here. Yeah, it's reading this from disk. If I change this, what happens? I'm just curious. Yeah, these are copies, so it's copying these as it should. It changes back otherwise. I'm gonna wonder why it says Portland 1. Or I'll never notice one or the other. Yeah, I don't know. Stinko Wings, how's it going, man? Joker did ask how you were. Someone bought me a shake at work the other day, a chocolate shake. There's that weird thing. And I, like, at 7 p.m. that night, they bought it for me at noon. And I, like, 7 p.m., I was like, did I say thank you to them for that? I better text them thank you. And they're like, you already told me. Shut up, you already told me. Does this have stuff in it that we can change? This does. So the faction data... I wonder why. Yeah. You know, the old owner of my company had a real problem with ending conversations. So he would say, like, you know, he'd be like, "Hey, can you do this?" And I'd go back to him and I'd be like, "Yeah, it's done." And he'd be like, "Oh, thank you." And then he like couldn't end the conversation, so he'd be like, "I really appreciate your work. Thanks, man. Uh, you really work hard here. Thank you." And it'd just be like kind of uncomfortable at that point, you know, because you'd already said, "Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you know." Then you'd be kind of like backing out of his office slowly, hoping that he would just be like, "All right, we're done talking." So, and I feel like I do that sometimes where I'm like stuck in this never-ending, yeah, can we just end this conversation, you know, thing with my coworkers. Uh, yeah, I guess I'm not going to worry about this right now, but it is weird that this doesn't show up in the inspector. All right, I'm going to look at one more thing, and then because I got so sidetracked last time. Yeah, here it is exactly. No, this is the opposite. Generate population, generate interest, because it wouldn't be nice to look at that. What is this crap? Generate skill list. Sometimes, you know, I wonder too if they're just like they want to keep talking, but they don't know how to continue. Like they're lonely, you know. Like with my boss, I'm not. I'm in my case, it's not that I'm lonely, but with the old owner, like he would tell me about all of his medical problems and stuff, his wife's medical problems, and I'd just be like, man, you shouldn't be telling people this. Uh, Everything, his kids' medical problems, and it's like, no, oh man, now when I see your kid, I'm gonna know about their stuff, you know. Yeah, and I still interact with him, but he's no longer the owner. Like he sold the company, and it's same thing. He'll call me for IT help, and we'll be on the phone for an hour as he tells me everything about his life, and it's definitely, yeah, it probably is that he's just lonely. He doesn't want to end the conversation. He's hoping that I'll you know prompt something. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one for first parts. We need county generation. There it is. So here's where we're assigning the faction data. Here we're manipulating like the perishable list, this perishable storage. So let's look at perishable storage. It's not on here. Let's go back to our county data. Where's our perishable storage? Some of these are still old lists. What is going on there? What is that weird? Is that a link? A lot of numbers. Perishable. I'm still warming up here, my brain too. We're in county data. Perishable. That's not what we want. The fuck was I looking at here? Okay. This was in county generation. We're going through each county. County data dot perishable storage. This is in county data. It has an export on it, so it's got to be in here. I'm in Portland. I'm in the county data. Oh, but now I'm looking at faction data. Okay, let's close that up. And it says 0. So yeah, this is not showing. I've looked at this like 100 times. Let me look at this Discord thing somewhere. I wonder if I can click through to this link. Copy text. Oh no, now I've clicked on a thing. That's if I click on a message in OBS, it never will scroll. And then I think, yeah, that link doesn't work. Oh, here. I copied more than the link. It still doesn't work. It doesn't like it. PM it to me. Let me go back over here. And assign faction data to county data, which we can see the faction data, assign county data to faction. Counties, and we looked at this last time, counties faction owns. And we can't see that one, so let's look at faction data. Wherever I put faction data, you should probably be pinned and then be over here. I'm not dragging you. Yes, I was. Right here. Let me look here 1 second. Let me look at this first. I mean, all county improvements. We did that change. Okay, so this is why we couldn't put a. That still doesn't show why this is not working though. This is that manual. I'm manually assigning by number. What an asshole I am. Add assign county data to, so yeah, I don't know why that doesn't work. One of the main components of namespaces for GD script. I still don't use namespaces very correctly, very much. I should use them better. I do have them actually in the map editor, and the things are broken into namespaces. And then there's a global namespace, I think, too, for this other part. So it seems to be what's going on. Let's look. There's like a script called like county loader or some shit. County loader. It doesn't have a. Oh, we're on remote. I was about to say it doesn't have a thing assigned to it. What does this thing do? So we're just instantiating the county. So it seems. Oh, what's this thing do? Since we're already going through all the county data, we add the county ID to the, okay, well, since we're already going through all the county data, where's this thing? County resource autoloader has an array in it. Does it? What? Okay, so this thing, I bet you, is going to be over here. Well, we can just find it down here. Where are you? Auto load. That's not what. County something auto loader. What was this thing called? County resources auto loader. Oh, it's right there. What is this thing? Okay, so I dragged and dropped the county datas in here, I betcha. I betcha. No, I can't drag and drop if it's an auto loader. What are we doing with this thing? So we duplicate. All right, so I'm reading these from disk and duplicating them, and then they're added to this county data's array. And then in the county data's array, we're doing something with it. We go through and we assign their county ID and we assign their county to them. And then what the fuck is this? This is for the map editor. We don't care about that right now. Then we have an asynchronous task. Jesus Christ. That it goes through each county data and it assigns the county data to this thing. So here's kind of what we were looking for. So this is definitely, so this is going from this list over here, which is the well, we can't see it in remote though. What is this thing? Let's look at the county loader. Do you have anything we can look at? No. What about the other thing? I don't know. We can't see that, but it is assigning it right here. I mean, it's just pointing at it, but it's... So we load them all into an array, and then we point it at this thing. We're still calling this select county from the good old days. That's so old. So we... Oh, I always am lost in my own code, because some of this stuff is ancient. Ancient to me. So this is getting assigned here. I don't know why we can't see it. There's probably something to do with being able to view things in the inspector because I read it from disk or something. But whatever, we'll just continue on. We don't want to get... See, that was like 20 minutes of me just dicking around. All right. So we need to do for the player UI, we need to do the math for input goods to multiply by the adjusted number of workers. So basically, when we go in here, when we go, get out of here. We go in here, the input goods shouldn't say 1, it should say 5. You're right. Just start from scratch. Sometimes I think it might be helpful, you know, to start from scratch, but it would, oh God, that'd be miserable. I've learned so much since I started. But, you know, I talk about this on my other channel sometimes because I run into like a version 2 of a game and you can tell that all they did is they copied and pasted their old code and then they just added some things to it. And I feel like that is not what you're supposed to do if you do version 2 of a game. You're supposed to start from scratch. And, like, you can use the logic and stuff. You've learned a lot, but you should be using what you learned creating the first one to create a better one. You move to Unreal. You know, that would be an interesting every restart and just, or do all 3 at the same time. Have a Unity, like one day work on Unity, one day work on Unreal, one day work on Godot. Oh God, that'd be a nightmare. Anyways, so we got to multiply this number, the adjusted number, by this number. And that's just for the player UI. So I saw this open earlier and I was like, why is this open? Did I close it? Nope, it's right here. So we want to, oh, this is county data. This is not what we want. We don't need this up open. We don't need this county creator open. What we need is, we don't need this open. One day I'll decide, we're going to pin this thing. I'll decide what why that, I'm going to like dive into why that really is not showing. County improvement container, this is it. So this thing's kind of a nightmare because there's so much information that needs to be purveyed, shown to the player. I almost said customer. The player is the customer. All right, so let's go to the top and then, yeah, so we hide everything. Remember that. And we have this crazy switch. So generate input goods. Trying to think if we want to do this two different ways, like the input goods. No, this should work either way because I believe I should double check this, I guess. So in county improvement data, wherever you are, let's go to the top. The max, the adjusted workers are somehow linked together, but I would be wrong, I guess. I thought I had a getter setter in here or something. When is this set for the first time? This is the one we want to do. Adjust number of workers. So we do have like a little, that's for all like the buttons and stuff though. Check for prioritize. You know, is there a way I can just look at one? We're back to this shit again. Can I just look at this stuff? How did I do it? We went to here. We went to here. Why do you have 0? Because I'm too far. All county improvements. Adjusted max workers is 5. Okay, so all I wanted to know is that make sure that this is starts at 5. So then back to what we were doing here. We got to Saturday is the remember how the code works. Sunday is work on the code, and then we start all over again because we forget for the week. And Saturday is remember the code. We're having some weird list thing, but I think we took care of that. So we need to go back to this container. And we need to go to the input goods thing. And we'll get a bug, I think. We'll get an error if it's not what we want. So generate input goods is going to, so it's going through add input goods panel. So it puts in this panel. We're passing in the goods name. It's hiding the remnants of certain things happen. This is, we're putting in for each key value. This is the value, which is, I'm going to move this down so that we can see it without, I'm going to use this comma right there. String is the name of something. It'd be nice if I knew what that name was. So we instantiate the goods container, we add this, we put the goods label is the name and the value of what, man? The name of what? It's probably the name of the good. And then this, though, actually should be, can we just put a star? I don't think it's going to work, but let's just try it. key value pair. I don't know what this is, though. This is going to be the input good. We need the county improvement that this is attached to. So we're going to have to pass in an int number of adjusted workers. And then we're going to, now this, we should get some, yeah, here we go. And we know this. Let's put this down here too, so that you guys can see it better. Okay, that was the good name. So then in here, we're going to go county improvement data. At what point are you passing in too many things? Like, is passing in 2 things normal? Is passing in 50 things normal? All right, so we're going to pass in the adjusted workers here. And we'll might as well copy this because we're just going to do this again. And we're going to make this so that it's readable for you guys. We're going to put a comma there. That's not a comma. And we're going to make you go down here. And then we're going to go to here. And we're going to put a thing in here. We're going to go, what the fuck? I'm holding control. That doesn't work. I needed shift. Number of adjusted workers. Now, we're going to run this, and it's going to work perfectly. There's not going to be any bugs. It's not going to crash. It's just going to run. We're going to have our number that we wanted, and it's going to be the correct number. All of these things are going to work in every place that we use this. All right, there, that actually worked. So we have 5 wood. Input resources, it needs 5 wood a day. And then let's go back to research and check basic production. And there it is, 5 wood a day. All right, that was way easier than I thought it was going to be. Which means there's some problem with it somewhere. But we have this. We can get this out of here. We can close this issue. I noticed that we were going, and you know, I was saying that I wanted to keep it less than 200 issues, but we were at like 211 or something. We were not going down in the number of issues. We were going up, which is, let's see, how many issues? 212. Good God, thought we were at 211. That's okay. Well, it's going to always have issues. All right, so now we need to check before work if there's so we're getting there. I say this every fucking stream that we're almost ready to push to main. We're almost ready to push to main. All right, so this is where it kind of gets more complicated and was like I should have thought this out ahead of time when I was doing. I should have done it the other way around. So I did it like where you produce first, and then I'm like going back to where you use input goods. So I should have started with the input goods and then went down. Basically the order of how they were built. But so let's go to county here. So at the beginning, the end of day, at the start of the day, we need to work on this gather stockpile goods. So we got this to copy, which was the big disaster last time. Multiply the input goods by the adjusted max number of workers, then multiply it by the stockpile multiplier, which is, this is a global variable that I'm setting as the game developer. And it's 2 right now, if I remember correctly. So what it is everything is multiplied by, so the each county improvement is going to try to hold 2, so an extra. So if there's 5 people working there and they need 1 food, they're going to have 2 days. They're going to stockpile 2 days of try to stockpile 2 days of stuff, which is probably not very realistic. I would imagine in a manufacturing setting, you're going to want more than 2 days of stockpile for work, but who knows? I read something years ago about the Soviet Union in stockpiling things where, so they needed, like if they were manufacturing something, and they needed steel or whatever for it. It was so unreliable to get steel for the I'm just making up what the good was. I forget what I think this actually applied across the board, kind of, where it was so unreliable. Like sometimes they would get tons of it, and sometimes they would get zero, but they needed to produce the correct amount every day. So what they started to do was lie about how much they needed, and they would stockpile all of this stuff, like all of whatever good. So they would have like a ton of steel stockpiled, so that on the days that they couldn't get steel, they would have some left over. But that makes sense. Like, so you're requesting 10 steel every day, and you would only get 5 some days, and you would get 10 the other days. So they would always request 20 steel. But what started to happen, I guess, was they would start stockpiling and lying more and more until they had these massive stockpiles of stuff. And so it was affecting, like, so if one place is always needing all this steel, it's like not getting to other places. And it kind of causes like downward spiral of some places having like these hordes of the materials that they needed, and other places didn't. And then I guess when the Soviet Union fell, people like went and found all these stockpiles. Like, people knew about it, and also people were stealing. So they would like sell off some of their stockpile on the black market. And so, but they found all these stockpiles, and they were like, what's going on with all this like extra materials? And, then they had to readjust things, whatever. It was a long time ago that I read it. Anyways, so this is the stockpile amount that they want. And this is where they're copying the county good. So we're getting the county good type. All right, so we're pulling this from the county good. What is this else in here that just returns? What the fuck is that? Why would it do that? Oh, right, so we're doing a for loop for some reason. I didn't put any notes on here. That was nice of my past self. Thanks, Josh. All right, so we go to the good data, and the good data was not copying. So, input goods, we have this. We're multiplying the stockpile amount that we wanted. We have the key value pair, which is the value, which is this int. So that's like where it said 1 wood. We multiply it by the adjusted, and we multiply it by this. So this is that number 10 that we were talking about. We're looking at the county goods here, and we're getting it by the enum. So we have the county goods, which is how many county goods we have, and then we have the, it doesn't seem like we would need a return here. What is going on there? Like, maybe I was preemptively putting a return in here for something else. All right, so we go, and we couldn't do it for each for some reason. Why couldn't we do it for each? Oh, okay. So we have to like basically count through it, because we needed to get, so we couldn't say like if the stockpile amount they want 10 and it's underneath and the county only has 5, we couldn't have it just like bail out on the first run. We needed it to go through each step and find the amounts. Okay, so we needed to get as much. They needed to get as much as they could. That's what's going on here. So let's put a note in why this is this way. The county improvements needs to get as many of the good as they can. Otherwise, as they can, loops through and the county improvement needs to get as many of the goods as they can, so it loops through and does that. I was just thinking maybe we should have a check first because this is going to be looping, doing this loop for all the time. We should check first if there's enough, and then if there isn't, let's do that. If a stockpiled amount is greater than or equal to the county good amount, then we're going to take it. We're going to do this. We're going to take it. So if we're going to take this, the value. No, we're not. We're going to take this. And we're going to subtract it from the county good because we're taking it away from the county. And then we're going to add it to the stockpile amount. We're going to add that to this county good in the stockpile. This is a dictionary. And we're not going to be able to see these dictionaries, which fucking sucks. And then if that doesn't work, so if they don't have enough, then it needs to go through and it needs to do this for loop. I think this return is here. I think what I was trying to do is if it gets to the end, it breaks out of this for loop. I got to do my daily Google of C# jump statements. It's my weekend daily thing. Okay, so if return, where are you, return? Terminates execution of the function in which it appears and returns control and the function's result, if any, to the caller. So the caller, who's the caller? Whom? So what is this thing? First call. I have to do this every single time. Output, first call. It says but that just bumps it out of the whole thing. This doesn't give me any. This doesn't help me. Last time when I clicked run on one of these, it just sat here and died. Oh, this time it looks like it's gonna. Oh no, I did that. When the return statement has an expression, the expression must be implicitly converted to the return. Oh yeah, we know about that. So I think what I was trying to do was break it out of the for loop so it didn't keep going. So let's say that it needed 10. The stockpile wants 10 and you only have one of them. I don't want it to check an additional 9 times. So I think that's what I was trying to do. Is it just busts out of this for loop. And I think that's what it's going to do so that it's less intensive. I'm going to put a note here. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave this a mystery for my future self. I think this is what, well, we'll find out. All right, then let's, at the end of this thing, what we're going to do is we're going to put a GD print in here. And what we're going to do with that, what is going on with this value though? I don't think this value is right. And it's starting at 0. I don't think we want it to start at 0. I think that's going to be an extra thing. So if we start, if I is less than, so it's like, always, I think what we want it to do is this, less than or equal. Less than or equal. That's like, I basically just made it do the same thing, but it's going to skip 0 because we don't give a shit about 0. So it's going to go through the first one. So I is 1. And if the amount, yeah, this is wrong. If the amount is greater than the stockpile, we need to keep track of this. This whole thing is not right. Who wrote this? We need this to be an int. Amount needed equals I. Okay, so this is going to go through. So the first time, no, this is wrong too. What the fuck? This needs to be here. Here we go. This, oh yeah, we did, this whole thing's trash. It's garbage, I tell you. If the good, county good dot amount is greater than or equal to I, then the amount needed is I. I don't know what this shit is. We're going to get this out of here. This is going to go down here, sort of. So this is the stockpile amount wanted, and then this is going to go with 1, the first run. And so if there's 1 is greater than or equal to, and if there's 1 in there, it's going to say it needs 1. And then we don't need that. That was garbage. Then it's going to go through this get out of here. You need to get out of here. You need to be down here. You need to be up here. All right. We're going to get this to work. All right. And I keep saying I'm going to get rid of garbage words when I stream, but I never do it. So all right and is my thing that I like to add. It's constantly say. So I is 1. If I is less than or equal to stockpile amount, I'm going to put this back to 0 because I have a feeling. No, it runs through this the first time, and the first time is 1. I'm going to put a GD print here. I equals plus I. All right. Oh, I did it again. So then if the county good has less than or equal to I, that's the amount it needs. Then it does the for loop again for I, because I is less than the stockpile, because remember within our example it's 10. So then it will go through here and this will now I will be 2, or the amount needed is 2. And then it will keep going until it finds out. This is a better way. There's a better way to do. Oh, no, wait. Can you put 2 things in here? In a for loop? So what I'm thinking is if we put. Basically, I don't want to do this loop a bazillion times because it's got to do this for every county improvement in the whole game. And so I know I keep saying that I'm going to worry less about the resource usage, Optimization, there's the word I want. I'm gonna worry less about optimization, and then I still worry about it. Because it's gonna keep doing this long after. So this is back to that, we can do the else thing, and then return out of here. And then that will break this for loop. I think the minute this is done, I am going to put a note here. I think this will break the for loop. Or break out of the for loop so it doesn't keep doing this for the whole stockpile amount wanted if there isn't enough. So I want this to break out of this for loop only, though, and stay in this else. So then we have this number, and then we should take this number out of here, amount needed, and then what's your problem? How about that? There could be 0. The county good amount could be 0 if it's greater than or equal to I. That's why that has to be a 1. Okay, so then this part, we need to add amount needed here. All right, so we don't use this thing at all except to get the stockpile amount. Okay, and we need it for here. Okay, so I'm just making sure that we don't have extra shit laying around. What is the purpose of this method? Jeff, how's it going? So the purpose of this method is that there's a building that needs to stockpile goods for the day's work, and it needs to make sure that the county has those goods, and then it needs to take them away from the county good amount here. So it needs to, but it needs to make sure that there's enough. So I guess the only way I can think of doing it is it's got to loop through and test like 1, 2. It's got to count basically how many county goods are there, and then take them. That is the purpose. But I don't want it. So the problem, I don't want it to continue doing that. Like, let's say the stockpile amount it wants is 100, and the county only has 1. I don't want to do it another 99 times. Keep testing. Then you don't need the loop tight. I don't know. I don't want it to keep testing after it gets the 1. After it figures out that there's only 1. I do need the loop because it can't be a check. So if it checks, let's say the county has 1 and the amount it wants is 100. If it checks, it's like, oh, you only have 1, and then it just says no. It needs to take all of whatever the county has, unless you know of a better way to do it. I'm always open to learning new things. So let's say in this test, it's actually 10. So the stockpile amount wanted is 10, and the county only has 3. I want it to take those 3. But so the other way I guess you could do it is you could check if it's, oh, you could do it without a loop. Wait, you're making me think here. It could just say if it's not enough. Yeah. You made me think about this more. There's a better way to do this. So what we can do is back up to this thing. If this is greater than or equal to, then we just take it. Else, we just take it all. Do we want to take it all? I guess we want to take it all. We just go, yeah. No, we don't need the loop. You're right. Amount. Get out of here. No, let's copy this down here. Jeez. sometimes you just gotta double think. Not double think. If this is, then we're gonna go. If that is greater than or equal to the amount, the county amount will, we need to do this first. This will be the county amount, and then this will equal 0. And then this will go here, and this will be garbage. And these will go away. All right, so let's think about this, make sure that this change worked. So if the stockpile amount is greater than or equal to the goods amount, the amount wanted is greater than or equal, you just take the stockpile amount. Else, because that's going to be, so it'd be like, let's say it's 9. We're going to take the 9 and add it to it, and we're going to make it 0. Yeah. I think that will work. But let's put a GD print in here for what this will be at the end. Let's put it, let's do, yeah, I didn't want that loop in there because it sucked. Having it loop so much was because there's going to be, isn't do this a lot. So thank you, making me rethink it. Let's put up here. Do we know what county improvement we're in? We do. Let's put a $sign here. County improvement data. It's called improvement name. Let's put a thing, and then let's actually put a space here too, because I'm anal about that shit. Then we do county improvement data input good dot. No, we do not. We do key value pair dot key dot good name. Let's do this too. I guess we'll put a space here too, and we'll bring this down here. So we'll do the county improvement name, the county improvement, the good name, and we'll do another one of these things. We'll put county good, even though this is the same as that other thing. And we'll do another one of these, and we'll do stockpile amount wanted, and then we'll do this, and we'll put this at the end too. And is that going to do what I want? No. Let's do this instead. That's it. Int. Whoops. I hit something. I hit some wrong keys. Okay. There we go. Then We'll run this. I think we're going to have an issue, though. Because of zero. Because of zero, I think. It shouldn't do anything. It should just not do anything if it's zero. And it's checking the completed list. Well, let's make sure that it doesn't do anything right now. And it didn't. Well, the AI is building something, but that's not our problem right now. So let's build our thing here. Let's check how many resources. We have 1 wood. So that's good, I guess, because it should. Oh. We got that dictionary thing. Again, I'm going to take a break here in 1 second. But I think what's happening is. This is the haulmaster. Gather stockpile goods. That's what we're working on. 18. It doesn't have this? County good. Oh no, are we having some other issue with that? The stockpile goods should at this point have already been created. We're gonna have to go back and look, but it should have already been created, like at the beginning when it's added in there. I'm gonna take a quick break though, I think. And then we gotta like look at that and make sure that it's there somehow. We are going to have to mess with this to figure out why that we can't see it in the inspector. All right, let me take a break though, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me throw up my break timer. All right, I will be right back. All right, I'm back. And let me turn on my break timer and start my music that you guys can't hear. It's kind of cold in my house. It's winter here, which isn't that cold in general. All right, so the problem with figuring out why this is not here when it should be. Yeah, I already did that. I thought. So this is the problem. So it's croaking out on this GD print, and probably here. I'm just gonna test it real quick. I bet you it's that stock are copying. It's back to the stupid resources not copying. I thought we fixed that though, because it's supposed to at the beginning. It's supposed to set them all to 0. All this stock, it's supposed to make a copy on each thing, on each county improvement, and set them to the stockpile amount to 0. And it must not be copying it correctly. What did we do? 1 day? There we go. Yeah, so it is going to be that same place. Whoops, I don't want to save that. My Control S finger there is on 20, which is probably where we're at now. Yeah, so it is this. It's not working. So let's go back to where we did that, which was in somewhere. It was under research item data. Generate stockpile goods dictionary. The problem is we can't see these. You know what I think it's probably doing? We can see part of this, and this is back to that thing where we're gonna probably have to. Yeah, so we can see it here, and there it is. What's that null thing at the end? And it's got a negative, which I don't think it was always negative. Let's look at a different one. Well, that one doesn't have one. What was the other one that oh, here we go. Oh, is this the same? Come here, motherfucker. Oh, that's as far over as it can go. Okay. That was 363. Well, they are different. So I think what's probably happening, that's a good point. If the key isn't there, it's not 0. I wonder if we do it with add, if it's better than this way. Oh, no, that's right. Let's try add and see what happens. Gotta remember, my brain is still warming up here. We want key value pair key, comma, key value pair value. No, we just want this to be a 0. We just want this to be a 0. I don't think this is gonna work, but I remember the negative thing was weird. I remember last time when we were making these, trying to get this thing to copy, to duplicate, we had it. All right, that didn't work. I still don't think it's copying. Yeah, it's not. What a pain in my ass. All right, so let's go back to our... I think it was under... Where did we do all that crap yesterday? Last weekend. And that's how we were testing it, is when I put add in, we would get the bug, and then I thought we fixed it, but obviously we did not fix it, because the add will tell us if it's... We'll do that. The add will do that. So for the good data, at the beginning of the stream, I was like, yeah, that's working. We don't need to worry about it. Where are we using this? So this obvious... Wait. Do we have this in 2 spots? Ew, that last drink of coffee was not good. It was like all sugar. All right, so back to our copied stockpile goods. So we're gonna take this. We're gonna take the. We had to make this. No, we didn't. We did. I think for a while have like a C# list in here, and it's not here anymore because so we must got rid of that attempt. So we have our stockpile goods. We're adding... So we need this one to work because we might need to copy these later. So I don't want it to make this... I don't want this to be 0. So supposedly, this copied thing... That other copied thing... Where was that? So we have that there. And that's the only spot where it is. So this... I don't think this can be here. Trying to think how we're doing this with... No, this does need to be here. It's just like these output goods. So this should already... I wonder if this is just for the stockpile goods. So we need to create the stockpile goods first somewhere. Let's rethink this whole thing because this has been a pain in my ass for 2 days. I guess it isn't that long. So let's go back to county generation. Where did we do this thing? It wasn't in an initial storage. I don't think. So it's not there, actually. It's back to this research thing. And then this thing. And then this thing. So we're back to the haulmaster. Generate the stockpile goods. So at this point, let's see, when it makes a copy of... Let's go back through this one more time. I think, if I remember correctly, this thing, so it completes the research. At the beginning of the game, all the stuff that's checkbox, all the research that's checkbox, it completes all of these. It adds all of the county improvements. So this county improvement is getting added, but we're making a copy of... Okay, so I put this up here because it's supposed to make a copy of this before it gets added to the all copy list, and it's obviously doing something because otherwise we wouldn't get there. Do a GD print on that key copied it. This happens all the time. So resources don't when you do a duplicate of resources in Godot, they don't actually duplicate correctly. And it's like an ongoing thing that I have to go through whenever we add any duplication method. So that's what's happening right here, is it's not actually duplicating these county improvements. So when I duplicate the county improvement, I had to write my own thing. And then that's what's happening here. This works with output goods, though. So let's see here. Back to this. Add this in here. And we can put a GD print here to see what it's doing. But it's going to croak out on the first one. And I think we put in something. Faction AI 2, yeah, because it gets to the first faction, the AI faction 1, because there's nothing in the dictionary at that point. It works. Then it gets to the second one, and it's adding it to the same. It's trying to add it to the same dictionary. So I thought we fixed this, but it's because I had the equals, not the add. So let's think about this. We go through the generated thing for the first county improvement. The county improvements know where they are, I think. No, we've been able to get away with the county improvements not knowing where they are. So that's I was thinking about putting in location to make sure it's not something else weird. Come on. But we can tell with this, we can look in our inspector. And, whoops. These are all different numbers. Let's see where it croaked out on here. Oh, we couldn't even get to the first one. Man, it's such a pain in the ass. You can't copy these right. So we need... This thing still needs to be its own thing is the problem. So when a county improvement is being created, this thing is not working. This one isn't working because otherwise, if it was, it would be its own thing. So we have the dictionary. What did we try last time? We tried a bunch of stuff. I remember there's some lists, some C# lists buried in there. Oh, yeah, it's buried in here somewhere. That's not gonna help us though. So I wonder why this one works. We have new copy. let's look at our new copy of on the stockpile goods, which is good data. And this looks pretty standard. And that's, you know, the other one was output goods, and that was a production. I think we were copying production data. And this is basically, you know, somewhat identical. And this works on this. I'm looking for like you know, new in the wrong place, a copy in the wrong place. Everything's good here. So this is the new copy, should work here. Well, if the production data works. And I already forgot where this thing was that we were looking for. It was in county improvement data is where it was. This fucking nightmare. Every time we do this, we run into the same issue with copying resources. And then I basically made a copy of this and then edited it. So we have an int. See, these have different things, though, that it's... The other thing we can do... No, we cannot do that. All right, so we have copied dictionary. We have the new... This is a new dictionary. We go through the things in the stockpile, and we add in this key. Except there's currently... So this is going to copy the stockpile. We're not passing in anything, so that's... Okay, we should already have it. So wait, at this point, we wouldn't have any... We need to, like, initialize this stockpile goods. So I think this is the problem. And I don't know how we're getting these other things then for the first one. We need this, but we are doing it when it's completed. Okay, so let's go back to our completed thing. What script is this in? Is this also in the haulmaster? It is. So this is the first, this runs before the other thing. So this is going to run before the other thing, and this should create the stockpile. So this part's getting created, right? We have our stockpile creating here. And then it goes from here. We got to go back to our county data. Let's actually go back to this thing and double check it, because I think it's just going through all goods and making a copy, but let's make sure. That was under this thing. This is under faction data. So it does this and it's creating. So we have our dictionary, which is, and it works for the first one. It adds the improvement. And this improvement is this new copy. We're using the new copy in the thing. So this should hit, when we do new copy, it should be hitting this thing here, which is then causing this to happen. And then it's trying to make a copy. Maybe we don't need this. Let's see what this does. I think this is, we're just going to be back to them not being copied, but let's see what it does. Because we already have a new thing being created. I think they're just going to be all the same, and we can check. Can we check? I can't remember. No, well, we didn't even. That didn't even work. This is probably the same error, but I always like to, whoops. So it's this is not. We're not getting a new dictionary. I wonder why this one works. Maybe this one doesn't work. Oh, you know why this one works? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're all the same. you know, they're all, each county resource has its own thing. It's always these goddamn copying of resources. That's the issue. No, nothing else. It's on. I feel that way with life all the time. That nothing matters at all. I like get up and go to work. Like, does this really matter what I'm doing? So at this point, you know what we should do probably? Let's go back to this. Let's move this. This method here out of here. Let's put this somewhere else. Though this is actually the good spot for this. So we know that this, let's do this. Let's kind of narrow down what, man, spent so much time on this last time. I guess it was only like 2 hours, honestly, because we ran in this at the end. So for each input good, it adds this in here at 0. The key value pair, we got the key, the good, we got an int of 0. And so we have our stockpile for the first thing, and then it goes to the next one. The next one being, you can count to see if it's empty. It's not. It's so. This is a extremely common problem with Godot and resources. And last time I streamed, actually, someone came in Discord and was like, because they weren't sure that I was on the right path, and they did a bunch of tests, and they said, like, "Yep, you're right. It doesn't copy. This is crazy." It only so what he found is it only copies built-in stuff, you know, like ints and whatnot. When you do like a duplicate. And so then you have to do a manual copy. And I actually, that was, you know, speaking back to what I was thinking about on Monday and Tuesday, I was like, I wonder if I could write something in C# that instead of having all these separate, you know, these things, it would just, they would all work. It would be a method that worked for all of these different data structures. It's a nightmare. These things are a pain in my ass every single time. So we have this thing generates. It hits the first one and it generates and it works, but then it's adding, we need a new one of these for the next one. Could we do something where we just like go like, whoops, I wanted you to all, what's going on here? The problem with so I need to make a copy of it though, because what happens if we need to copy the county improvement again later? I was thinking maybe we could just initialize it right here. Let's see what happens. I don't think it's going to work, but we'll know in 10 seconds here. Yeah, no good. So which is why, all right, so we have, then we go to county improvement data. We need to make this new copy, this copied stockpile thing work a different way because it's obviously not working. And we have to use add. We have to use add because we need it to error out. We can't use equals because if it doesn't, if we don't, we need that error to happen where it says like, look, the key's already there because then we know that the thing isn't copying. So this thing needs to be here. Just like this one, except I'm betting. I'm going to put a note on this. I bet this isn't really unique. Which gives me... No. I was thinking we could do something else where, because you can right click in the inspector and say make unique, but we actually don't have these things in the inspector because they're being generated as they. All right, so we got to figure out how to make this thing work. So this is a new copy, which is back to this thing. This isn't working. Just for some reason. There's another, I'm trying to think of other ways around this. Instead of like using a good data, we could use something else like enum. A dictionary of enums. So for the stockpile, it's always going to be county goods, right? Is that true? Actually, let's look at our enums. Because we did add a bunch of... No, because then we could get rid of the good data and we can have a dictionary of enums, and I think those copy correctly. It's just when you use the custom resources that shit goes south. So input goods are not always going to be faction or county goods. There's sometimes going to be faction goods, but I don't think we're going to stockpile those. Influence? No. Let's think about this from like the gameplay standpoint here. Well, that's not going to have an input good. Do we want to? So I do have the idea. So I want to kind of like maybe this is just an idea. Have influence at the beginning. Remember, this is still like everyone's working in the county because they're just trying to help out the common good at this point. There's no real economy with money or anything. So I was thinking maybe we actually have like a good charged for influence, and that influence would be paid to the people, and then each person would stockpile. I'm not going to use the term stockpile. Each person would have like influence that they could spend, kind of like money, later down the road. But maybe set each to 0, then set it from the objects. I'm not sure what you mean. So are they gonna, do we have input goods? Oh, I can't look at it with this in here. I think all of the input goods are going to be county resources. What about when money, though? Money is, when we get to money, that's going to be a whole different ball game. Let's do this for now. We're going to have to rewrite the whole game anyway, so let's do this for now. Let's change this stockpile to... How do we do our resources? How do we do our resources? Are they by... Let's see. I don't need all this stuff open. County data is a list. I think it's by an enums. Enums, my love of enums here. Let's just go to the top. It is. Oh, but then it has good data, huh? Why isn't this thing bugging out? Um, all right, let's change this thing up here. I think we can do it with a county good. Let's go back up to the top here. Whoops, enum. I don't know what I hit. Where's our stockpile? So if we go all enums dot county good type, then this should break. We don't need this. We just go stockpile goods. And we probably won't need this anymore. Because I don't think it has a problem with enums, because they're just like hidden ints. Now what are we doing here? Then this is going to be county good type. County good type. County good type. How many more of these we got? That's it. Then so this is generating the stockpile. So county good type. We might actually need to look at this more closely here in a second. Where you at? I don't see you. I'm clicking on you. I don't see you. Are we just waiting for you to go away? Are you way over here? That's the problem. Okay. So when it generates this, it's going to go through the input goods. It's going to add it in there, but by county good type. And that, when we copy the county improvement, hopefully, I hope I saved all that stuff. Hopefully, we'll not get a bunch of bugs here, because it should be a new, a new thing. 41. So the stockpile copying doesn't work even with county, if it's a county good type. So maybe there's something else that I'm doing wrong. This would be these would all be we can get this. We're going to add this by key and value. We got an extra thing in here. What do you want? I think we're just running in circles here. I think this is going to do the same thing. So we have, man, this dictionary. There's no custom resource in it now. The new copy. Well, let's see what this does. I don't think that's going to do us any good. For a while there, we had it working, I thought. But maybe it wasn't actually working. I was equaling was the problem. I thought we double checked, though. Maybe that's the issue, is that I can't add it because it's already in there. And the equaling was working, but how are we checking that? Maybe maybe I am really going in circles. And I'm redoing everything we did last weekend. It's because my terrible fucking memory. Where are we at? Faction data, generate these. So we did have this equals. And we did. Because this key should already be here. I think that's what's the problem. Is it's not, it's the copying is, what are we doing here? Is going to equal 0. What's your problem? Oh, we still got a good data in here. We'll leave it as all enums. It doesn't matter. Right now it doesn't. For each, oh, these are good data. What? These are good data. And once again, I think I'm going in circles. But I think we're going. I think we're going. Did I put in the wrong key? County good type, county good type. I think we're going in. I'm like repeating myself from last Sunday. So the way how we can test this is we go to our remote. We go to our factions. It would really be nice if this showed up right. We go to faction 1. We go to faction data. We go to all county improvements. We look at 2 because it's a thing. You know, it was getting those weird 8 and 0. That's why I didn't want to use an enum. That's why I didn't want to use an enum. Here's that weird flashing thing. Let's put it back to a good data, because the problem with an enum is it gives you a number. I wish you could show it. I wish you could show it as a word, but it also doesn't. So the other one, you know, it gives us like an instance number, resource number, you know, like this, and it's easier to tell. I think I just fucked it up. I think that's what happened. Is I think by changing that to add, I think I was making an add again. I think we solved this on Sunday, and then I just recreated the problem that I solved on Sunday, and it's just because my terrible brain. So let's go back to what we were doing here. Let's go back to the first part, which is this. Let's go back to home. Let's change this to a good data. But then good data. And then we'll just keep going in circles for the rest of my life here. Then we'll get these errors to go here for each good data. And shut up. So where are we at here? We're copying the stockpile. And we're going to go to copy stockpile. Good. Yeah, we gotta fix this though. Add. We need to fix this. We need to fix all this. Yeah, go to the next one for me there, buddy. Thank you. What? I was gonna say sometimes it's really useful and sometimes it isn't. All right, this is all good datas. Then we'll go back to this. We're gonna get rid of this thing. Maybe it will do it for us. It doesn't want to. How about now? No? Okay. I do really like IntelliSense or whatever. What am I doing? I'm hitting tab instead of backspace. Sometimes it's great. I was about to say, we'll probably know this one. And then we have one more. And I don't really like the name of this, but we'll leave it there. Me and my name problems. Did I save all that shit? Let's just do this just in case. Whoops. Uh, but we need to check now the same thing. And I think we went through this last time. Come on. Oh my God. All county improvements to 932. Yeah, they're not copying. God damn it. They're the same. They're all the same. I swear we fixed this. Where they were all different. So there's something else. I swear we did, and then I opened it today and started messing with it again. Good data. We have the new copy there, but was I using this? It says there's one reference, but there isn't really. So we're not using that. So I need to put that back in that one spot in the county improvement data. Oh my God, I should just revert the code, right? What did I do for the first 10 minutes of this stream? I did like nothing. So we need to add, we got to do a new key, new copy here. But we need to pass in itself. I think. What am I doing? I'm hitting Windows key. You know, my other keyboard has a button on it that you can make it so the Windows key doesn't do anything. And one day my Windows key didn't work, and I was like, what is going on here? And there's like a little lock on it where you can turn it, because it's like a gaming. Well, the problem is that I need this to, just in case I want to copy this in the future. Like, let's say I'm making a new copy of this county improvement data. I don't want it to zero it out every time because I'm not sure if I'm going to. I don't think I will. Actually, that's not even. I don't even know. I have no idea if I'm going to be making more copies of these county improvements. So I want this thing to actually make a copy, and then the zero thing only to zero out when it's first created and made into. Because then we'll run in, I'll be like, why is this always zero? And I'll forget, because we'll run into it in 6 months or something. Since I only work on this on weekends, especially, we don't need to do that. I was autopiloting to build something. All county improvements. (932). I think this is it. Like, if these are always the same, every time I restart, that's indicative of there being a problem. I vaguely remember. We're in faction 1, which is just making sure that I'm actually looking at a new thing here. Well, that's different. We got that weird negative. I don't know what this like null at the end means. I don't know if negative matters. Like, this one's negative, or maybe it's not really negative. It's like a dash. That one isn't. So, but when we click on it, it gets the dash. Oh, and same with that. Object, like, let's hover over, let's go back here. And hover over, not that. Let's like open one of these up. I guess we can't do that. It's a good point. Well, this one says that there's one. Let's, man, but they're all going to be the same number. So what happened where we just had an issue? The issue was when I built something. Like, why did I go down this road again? Because of this. It couldn't find the key. So let's look. Maybe I have a typo somewhere else. Or whatever. So the gathering the stockpile goods. So let me think about this. So with this, as it's being completed, how is this working? So when this one, when it's done being built, so this is making a copy of it. It's supposed to be, so when we complete construction, is not this thing though. It doesn't do this part, but it is making a copy of the, so this part is where it adds it to the list of, the faction has a list of all the county improvements it can possibly build. So that's the completing the research. But when you complete building something, it's copying the county improvement to a new spot. And so where is that? That's going to be under here. Under here. This is just straight up adding this to the list, which, is that what we want to do? I mean, it's been working so far, or at least it seems to have been working so far. I think when we were doing like construction and stuff, we could tell. But what we should probably be doing is like, whatever, new copy this thing. What did I call this? County improvement data. Yeah, it's new copy. It's static, huh? You're static? So we would go, and we would put in this thing. I guess I could just double click this, huh? But why wasn't this giving us a hard time earlier? Clear the people on the county improvement list. Clear the people working on the county improvement. Clear the people building. Working means something else. Go, come on. Set improvement complete. What does this do? Oh, yeah. Wonder why this wasn't a problem. I wonder if it's been a problem. I feel like we would have noticed at this point. But I guess maybe we couldn't. We could have not noticed. So every faction, well, no, it is different because we were, but it's a string. So the string was probably copying, because so when we name them differently when there's multiple of the same thing being built. It's probably was copying this string, but not this other stuff. I don't know. We'll find out here. No. Fucking shit. Let's double check our gather stockpile goods. Maybe there's something dumb in there. Haulmaster. Gather. Oh, but we just have this. Okay, so the county good. Yeah, maybe I like have this backwards or something. The county good. What are we doing here? We're going through the input good. Is this whole thing caused because I like put no good names in there? Let's put key value pair right here. Except that they're not going to match. They're not going to be the same good data. So they wouldn't match. Because they're copies, so they're duplicated, so they're different. So what we'd want to do, how the fuck are we going to do this? We need to go back to the enum thing. God damn it. Maybe. Let's look at this. All right, so it makes a copy of the good data, but the good data is unique, so you can't compare them. So I think I think we have a different issue than the thing from last weekend, and that's what's happening here. I think that's what's going on. So we go through and we got the input good, right? We do this value. All this stuff I think is right. Good type, and we're getting the good thing from here. But then this is choking because this key that I'm passing in isn't in there because they don't match. The good datas are unique, so they have different reference numbers. So they're like, nah, this shit isn't the same. This is you took all this time to make this stuff unique, and now you're trying to compare it. So what we're gonna have to do, how are we gonna do this here? We could go. It'd be easier if it was just a list instead of a dictionary. We would have to well, then this isn't going to work down here either, if that's the case. What if we did this first? I'm going to do a GD. I know this is still going to croak, but I want to see something. County, what? County good dot good name squigs equals question mark. Good. What the fuck were you trying to compare this to? Key value pair key dot good name, and I bet you those will equal, but I bet you, I mean, we're not testing it, we're gonna look at it with our eyeballs. Resource name equals question, whoops, where did that one come from? That's not even close to the, like, what are my fingers doing? Key, and this is gonna croak on the first thing here. No, I was like, what's going on? Squigs, key value pair, key, resource name. And then we'll be able to see it when it croaks, hopefully. The first croakage here. And then we'll look at it and get the fuck out of here. Yeah, no, that's right. It can croak after this and it'll be fine. We just wanted to do something. We just wanted to get to that one thing. Shit, another hour's passed. If you copy, yeah, it's hard to test this. It would be nice if I could look at stuff in certain things in the inspector, Just out of, laziness. Okay. Here's my little question mark. These are nothing. Did it croak on that? They should still have their resource name. Maybe it needs to be a resource number or something. Resource ID. I'm pretty sure it's called a resource name. And an optional name for this resource when defined its value is, I guess not. Okay. You know what? This is what I got to do, is I don't need that at all. I will just put this right here. That's what I need. There we go. It will just put, I'm always accidentally doing that because I don't put the name in, dot whatever, good name or county improvement name or whatever. I got to build this thing. I bet you they're different though, and that's the problem. They are different. I think I'm comparing these in other spots too. All right, I'm gonna take a break, but I think I'm comparing stuff in other spots, but maybe the things that I'm comparing they're not unique. The whole goal of using like good data and all that stuff was so that we didn't get the numbers with an enum. Like when we put the enum in the inspector, it just shows the number 8 or whatever. And I don't want the number 8. I want to be able to read the enum. Godot, show enums in inspector string. We don't want something that old. Why use enums over just a string? I remember reading about like an issue somebody opened for this, but I can't remember how old it was. Maybe this is what we're gonna have to do. I don't think enums get that unique thing either. It'll be hard to tell. Uh, going on here? Sometimes it's because I have in the past year. Sometimes I feel like Google is getting shittier and shittier. Enums inspector, not feel. Sometimes I know. Yeah, here's what I want. What do they say? Currently, Keyser displays a string reference which is not very convenient for viewing and editing. That's not true. I want the words, them words. Yeah, this is exactly what. Yeah. Close this. This is not planned. Why? I don't read numbers, dude. That's why that's why I love enums, because they're words. We might have to do that though. I think that might be the only solution, because we finally got this shit to copy, and then we ran into this because they're not compared, and we can't compare them. The other way, no, because the dictionary is a good data, so there's no way for us to do this with a good data. So we have to use an enum, which means we're going to have to use this, or if we're going to do that, then we might as well just use a list. Like, screw the dictionary. We just do a list of ints They would have to match, though, so we won't do that. The code at least will have that thing. Anyways, I'm going to take a quick break. We'll leave this up so we can dwell on it. Close is not playing. That blows my mind. Let me pause my music that you guys can't hear. And then put up my break timer. And I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. All right, I'm back. I'm prepared, ready to change this to a enum, I guess. That's what we're going to do. A dictionary of enums. Well, at least we know something's, that's the copying thing's working. We'll leave that in there, I guess. But we'll copy. Well, we won't leave that in there because we're going to change what we're doing. We'll do something, right? I'm changing my music that you guys can't hear. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go back to our county improvement data. We need these stockpile goods by county good type. Would they stockpile money? They need to. So we'll rename this, so just in case, to county stockpile goods. And then we'll go through this and do we need this all? this copy stockpile goods here. I think we do. We'll just do it just in case. And then IntelliSense will know what I'm doing probably soon. I could always find replace too, but some reason I like to, if it's a few things, I like to do it by manually, just to make sure that I need everything that I need. And I guess we're gonna do this new copy. We're gonna do this too. For some reason it's doing the thing where it won't let me control to it. I don't know why that happens sometimes. What are we at? This is oh, because there's no new copy. It doesn't exist. So we're gonna add this key. We're gonna go county good type. County, whoops, not with a comma. Well, I think, you know, and I've said this before, the more agony something causes, the more I remember the problem later. What are we doing here? This needs to be all enums. Then we'll have to have a faction level. I thought we've changed something though with that, where they're all of the resource. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for this case. So for each one of these, we need, this needs to be a good data actually. And then we're gonna do key value pair key county. We need a fucking period. All right. So then let's see what other bugs we gotta dig through here, and then we can compare this stuff. Oh, we're gonna fix the compare too, because that's not gonna work. The compare. I don't think it's called a compare, but whatever. So what do we got? Let's make sure that this stuff's still working. So we still got the math's working there still. Math's working there. Let's go here. And then we're not getting a bug, but what does this say? This is the compare we got to fix. -9. Oh. Yeah, that didn't work. But we can fix that too. There's something wrong with my else in there. So what are we doing here? We gotta make this under construction improvement. I didn't put any words in there. This is up here though. And this should now be, so for each in here, we have to get the value, the adjusted workers. So this is right. And then we have the good type. We're getting this from the county goods. So this is our good type here. And these aren't going to match anymore because these are, well, those are going to, wait. That's going to match, but it doesn't really actually matter. So let's get rid of this. We'll just leave that in there though. We'll put some words in here though. We actually don't need this. We'll undo this and this, and this is going to go back in here. So we'll make this less ugly. So that's going to go to there. And then stockpiled goods, we'll put this down here so that it we can read this. This is going to be county, what are we doing here? Value? Yeah, value, county good key value pair The key value pair is that, and then it's all, it's that should be a good data. What I got going wrong here? Key, oh, right. It's key, damn it. County good type. What is your problem? This didn't get changed because it was commented out. Okay, we're gonna make this work. So this is wrong though. If the stockpiled amount is less than or equal to the goods amount, then we subtract this and we add it to the goods, the county goods stockpile. Else, we add what's left of the county good amount and we zero out the amount. And then we have this new thing. Jesus Christ. Like I always say that, like, you know, the things that the most struggle with, like bugs and stuff, you remember later on, or at least since my memory is so shitty, it helps me remember the things that have, you know, how to fix them in the future or avoid them in the future. And I hope that's what we're going to see here. Look at that, it's a 0. Oh, because I took resource name out, or I put resource in so we could see that earlier. Improvement, good name, yeah, so this should be county. This is a good. So this is gonna be a good name there, but that's okay. Do we have good name down here? We have a good amount. Good name. Amount. These should match basically. Improvement name. Good name. Okay, but down here, well, let's just rerun it again. It only takes 10 seconds for the thing to get going. $10 seconds to get going. Like enums, it's going to be kind of a bummer that we can't read that in the thing, but we'll just have to deal with it. That's, you know, part of programming is just dealing with weird things that come up. All right, what do we got here? I should have put 1 and 0, 0 and 1. So it's checking if this garden is done. This is an AI. The AI built some buildings here, but we only care about Portland right now. And it's going to take one. See, we can't look at this. I mean, maybe we can. Remote. Portland. No, this is the thing that's not reflected. It doesn't show anything there. We got to figure out what that is at some point. All county improvements. See, this doesn't help us either. There's the other thing that we messed with last time, which I think is still a list. We didn't mess with it that much, but we should mess with it maybe right now. So under faction data, we're going to want to change this from a C# list to a Godot array. How much time do I have? 40 minutes? I think we can do it in 40 minutes. We'll just do this and we'll see what happens with, because if we can see this, it will sure make testing. Come on, give me my bugs. No bugs? Okay. We'll build it first and then we'll get our bugs. Give me my bugs. My errors. When I was a kid, I had a speech impediment where I couldn't say the letter R. And what? No problems there either. And people always thought I was from Boston. So people would always be like, "Oh, you're so cute. You have a Boston accent." And, I'd be all embarrassed because it was a speech impediment. Oh, did you see that weirdness? So to this day, when I run into people from, I had to take speech classes and stuff. So when I run into people from Boston and they have that accent, I tell them that story. And then I say, but they made me take a speech therapy. Why didn't they make you guys? And people from Boston think it's funny. I don't know. All right, let's see. We got this build. And that did something. I was yammering, so I forgot what I was even testing here. Oh, we were going to test to see if we could see this now in the inspector. We want to look at the shipbirds. We want to go to your faction data. We want to go to all county improvements. No, we don't. We want to go to... Did I not save this or something? Researchable research. Oh, I didn't put an export on it, like an asshole. We'll put an export on this one too. All this stuff needs to be saved because for the save game anyways, so we might as well make this exported because when you save a resource, if it's exported, that's how it saves it. And we'll go to here, 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 unpause it, kick it to 8. I think 8 might be too slow. Then we'll go back to here. We might need a 16. Go to faction data. 2. So this is right because we only own 2. And they are different. 0 should be Portland. So then now we're looking, and it has, see, this one has the right information. I wonder why this doesn't have the right information, or information we can look at. See, it has the county population. It's got everything in here, except for our stockpile. Okay, did I not put an export on it? Where is that shit? It's because it's on the all county improvements or whatever. Completed county improvements. Here we go. Stockpile. So it has 1, but I think the reason it has 1 is because we only had 1. That's not. Why are there 2 of you? We must have made a mistake there when I added that copy thing in. It's adding 2 copies. But what was I going to look at? I was going to look at resources. Yeah, we used up all of our wood. There's only 1 wood. So let's figure out what happened here. It's because I bet it's because I made that add and I did a new copy instead of add. Or add instead of new copy. Where was that? That was it's because I changed something. That was under when we completed. There wasn't. I think we moved that out of the banker. I think it was in county improvement data where we complete. God, where did I stick that? Oh, I was thinking of this thing. It's not this, but this gets us right near where we want to go. Here it is. See, I did the new copy here, and for some reason, we must be doing this new copy somewhere else. And I'm just not remembering. It should be lowercase. And then we'll do this. Because I'm 90% positive we've tested this many times, and they're different. So let's see. We're going to build one here. And this only happens once it's been constructed. That was throwing that off. So we'll get our little notification down here. We can pause this. We have our 1. It takes 5 wood. It's going to use, it would be nice if we could see the resources here too. The stockpiled resources in the county improvement panel. Maybe we'll add that as an issue for our next, or in here. Add stockpiled resources in county improvement panel. It's actually called container, I think. We're never going to get done with this. We're never going to push this to main. It's never going to happen. We're just going to do this county improvement part forever. We're going to be improving the county improvements forever. Spend the input goods to... All right, this can go down here. All right, I think that's working, but what we need, the way we need to test this is we need to give ourselves some more wood. So what we can do with that, I think that's under county generation. No, that's storage. See, here duplicate works, or we're duplicating good data here somehow, and it works. Strange. Starting amount of each good. Oh, that's a global? Well, good. Let's put 100. We'll save this, and hopefully I didn't change that in the inspector, because I've noticed that that is a problem I've had in the future. Or in the past. Probably in the future, too. Yep, I did. I guess I have to build this. I want to reset it. I want to stop. Sometimes I change it here and sometimes I change it in the code. There we go. And then I wonder why things have changed. All right, so now we have plenty of wood to start with. We're going to build the fisher's shed, and it should take off 10 out of there after it's been built. Okay, so it's been built, and it should happen at the beginning of the day. And it took the 10. And we generated 4 remnants. So it took the 10, and that's what we wanted. So that's working. And before it took 1, because that's all we had was 1. Let's let this run until we use up all the... What's this negative? Okay, no, that's fine. I was like, oh, shit. No, that's fine. It's supposed to do that. It's supposed to show. We had a negative 30. That is crazy. Everyone was probably starving for the first day, and then we're okay now. How close are we here? 40? No, I guess it says it right here. 10. And somebody got some experience while we were dicking around here. This isn't going to tell us anything. This is going to be at 0. Yeah, I think this is working. I'm not 100% sure, but 0, 80. Let's look at Portland. Yeah, so this is 100. Let's double check our thing. Our whatchamacallit, our GD print, which is under something. We can get there through here. No, we're at gather. So that says 100 at the end, which is right here. And then it says 100 right here. Yep, so that's right. And the other one, when it was saying like 1001, it's because, this one, it was starting out with 1, and then it was assigning it. So this looks like this is working. Jesus Christ, something's working. So check before work if there's enough input goods. That's actually not what we just did, but that is, we've got, now we're going to do that part. We still have a half hour, so we got plenty of time to start working on this. So next on that, so at the beginning of the day, it's going to start gathering this the stockpile people then, we need to change how people are assigned to work, because if there isn't enough goods stockpiled, the people aren't going to work there. They're gonna be set idle. But I don't want it to happen immediately. I think probably a week is good. So what we'll do is we need to add to county population, which we also need to change at some point. Wonder if we should just start diving into that. I mean, I keep getting sidetracked by these like major projects of changing things, but we need to make county population a resource instead of a public class so we can save it. But let's not do that because that's going to be huge, a huge thing here. And we also want to rename it from county population just to population, because they're all it's always county population. So what we need in here though is like an int that is like kind of like days starving. Like this isn't exported for some reason. I mean, it doesn't. We can't because we're not in a resource. It's tempting just to turn this into. Wait, it is a resource. Did we already do that at some point? I guess we did. Well, then let's make this export. Let's put an export on this too. Let's just put an export on everything. I guess I already did that. I was dreading it. I should have renamed that too. I wonder why I didn't do that. This is going to be employed days idle. So it's the days, the number of days that they've been idle. We're going to add over here. We'll have another one and we'll set it to 7. The reason why I have so many of these global numbers that are like kind of I don't like hard code them in or whatever, and they're all like a global thing, is because there's gonna be so much testing and balancing later that like 7 days might be not long enough, or it might be too long. So we're gonna need to be messing with these a lot. And this is under work, and this is gonna be days idle, days employed idle before looking for Jesus Christ for new work. You know, my love of I'm gonna put 7. My love of really long variable names. So there we go. Except I see what is this? No, that's right. I thought there was a typo there. All right, so let's use the all right thing again. Let's figure out how this is going to work, because it's going to be kind of major as well. We can get started on it at least. Assign people to prioritized improvements. How do we do this? Get prioritized workers list. So this adds it to possible workers. And then what do we do? This should all like be hitting the same stuff. Check for prioritized improvements. Okay, so this is going to check for under construction stuff. This is for building, and then this is for like working. And this does some thing. If prioritization equals true and the count is less, it assigns the worker to the county improvement. So this is fine because we want the person assigned to the county improvement. Except, what if they? We're gonna need like a new status for the county improvements. So let's look at what statuses we have. County improvement status. Awaiting player assignment. I think we got rid of that one. I think this is gone. I think this will go away. This is for research, and we don't do research. And we won't do research. I'm not going to go into all the details of why we're not doing it that way, but we're not. It's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass for the player. So we have producing, we have research, we have under construction, and then we have in research panel. The fuck is this? I think this is going to go away too. All right. I did the all right thing. Producing without workers. Get out of there. So, is this alphabetical? It looks like it is up to here. So the next one we're going to need is not enough stockpile. Not enough stockpiled goods. Not enough stockpile goods. So that's because we're gonna hit that switch at some point. So we need that ahead of time. So back to our county thing. We have the assigning people. So the assigning people is going to be somewhat different actually, but wait. We need to check. Check for. We need to check that we don't want to assign more people. So that's the first step. We don't want to assign more people if there's no resources there. Like if you run out of wood and you're not bringing any wood, that building should just be sitting idle, and we can skip all of the signing people, and that's gonna be pretty quick to check. So the first thing we want to do is, what does this do? So this is checking for a variety of things. But I'm thinking we can just put an if statement in here and then just and check the status of the county improvement. And then just not do it if the county improvement is out of good. It needs, so let's think about this for a second. So if there's 0 resources, we don't want anybody to be assigned there. But if there's some resources, we want people to be assigned there. Like, so that they're like going to be trying to work. What order is this in? So it's going to go down. This is still start a day. Yeah, day start. So if improvement status, no, all items, status is equal to what was it called? Not enough. What we just do is actually do this. And we can probably make this look better here later. And we'll put a note in here because I've been trying to do that more. Make sure if there are 0 goods stockpiled, then don't assign workers. And this is check for prioritized improvements. And so that takes care of both of these. So if the status is not equal to this, then it does this. We're going to have to change this at some point. Actually, we need to change it in the gathering part. So then this goes through all of the input goods. So we need to check, we need to throw this if they're all equal to 0, basically. So for this one, we need to check this if they're all equal to 0. So how we would make it, so at the end of this, we would go check if no goods stockpiled. And we're going to generate this thing. And then over here, we're going to get rid of this thing. And so it's going to go through trying to think of the best way to do this, and I think we would, I don't want to do another loop because we're already doing a loop through the input goods. So we might as well, do it here. And we pass in the stockpile. We pass in an int that is stockpiled amounts. And then we go if stockpiled amounts is greater than 0. County, what are we in here? The haulmaster is doing this? All right, we need to pass in a county improvement data then too. County improvement data called county improvement data. And oh, I just noticed that someone posted the viewers thing and it actually worked. I'm going to ban these suckers. I'm going to report them. And I'm going to, not for self-harm, for spam here. Bot selling viewers. I feel like I gotta do my due diligence in trying to help everyone with getting rid of there's a point where it's not worth people's time to have the bots work if they constantly are getting banned, and so they'll give up and move on. But if no one ever reports them, then they'll never give up. Even though there is like a bunch of data that like the internet is just run on old broken bots are just generating everything equals status equals not enough stockpile goods. This isn't going to work. Let's put this in. What we need to do is we need to put in this one. this working how I think it's working? Yes. So we're passing in this one thing. It's going to go through each one of them. I think this is going to work, but this is not going to work. Not that. Stockpiled amount. Yes. If stockpiled amount is greater than 0, this should be producing. All right, so what it's going to do is if this is going to be like this, and this is going to be not enough. So it's always going to set this to not enough, but then if any of these are greater than 0, it's going to put it back to producing. So let's see if that, let's look through this here, make sure we're passing in the right thing. Check if no goods stockpiled. Yes. Let's put a summary on this. And we are going to say it sets the county improvement status to not enough stockpiled goods, and if there is any good that is greater than 0, it sets it back to producing. So we only want this to happen when there's absolutely nothing there. Otherwise, we want it to like fill a little bit. And I think we're passing in the right thing here. I think that's right. If the stockpile amount is greater than 0, yeah, then it changes it back to producing. And this is going to go through each input good, and it's going to check, and we're checking against, you know, the county of the stockpile goods, and the ints should be, yeah, I think that's right. So we go through that. If then we go to assign people to the prioritized thing, we're going to have like this kind of duplicated elsewhere. If their status is not equal to not enough stockpile goods, it does that, and it assigns the workers to the county improvement. So that takes care of that part. Let's go back, find idle population, that's different. Check for preferred work. So this is checking for the preferred work. Check if improvement wants workers equals false. So if it doesn't want workers, it's going to skip this loop. So I think we can actually put in here, or county improvement data. Let's put this or down here. Probably should make this a method too, because we're checking this all the time. We're checking all the time right now. Let's just do it. Since we are checking it. In the haulmaster? No, we're checking it in that other. Is that in county data? It's right here. Yeah, so what we're going to want to do is in county improvement data, I guess. We'll put in I have so many things in here. We could put it in the haulmaster, but I think we'll just put it in here. This is going to be a public static void, and we'll be check if new stockpiled goods. This is actually not going to be void. We're going to return a bool. And status. Whoa. I'm in the wrong spot. Oh, it's because it's static, I think. It is. Status. If status is equal to return this is check if no stockpile good. This is one of those things where it's a double check if any return. It's one of the things that I hate and when I run into it in video games where there's like a double negative. So you're like, if this is not equal to this, we return true, and then we return false. So if this is not equal to that, we return true, and then we return false. If for any other reason, check if any stockpile goods. If this is not equal to that, there are some stockpile goods. Else. Well, I mean, there's no else, but otherwise it does that. I think that's right. So then back to our thing here. We're going to go get rid of this. We're going to go check. And if this equals false, then we do that. So if there's no stockpile goods, which is, it's actually not checking the stockpile goods there, though. It's just checking the status. So we probably don't want to do that, actually. We can have it its own thing. I only got 8 minutes left. Hey, we can have its own thing. Let's put this back real quick here, because I'm going to run out of time. And let's go back to here. So this isn't checking if there's any stockpile goods. This is checking if it's not enough stockpile goods status. And so this is setting myself up for failure later when I click on this and wonder what this does. And it's like, wait, that's not what this does. Check if status not enough stockpiled goods. Why are we doing this? It's fine. If this is not equal to that, if this is equal to this, it returns check if, yeah, and then this is going to be, otherwise it returns false. I don't know if we even need that to have its own method, but we'll do it anyways. Let's break we're going to try to, I'm going to try to continue making everything its own method. Is equal. This is that double negative thing, though. Check if not enough stockpile goods equals false. It's check if status equals false. Check if status not enough is false. Then we do this. Were you expecting something? Yes. So check if is equal to true. What's your problem? Oh, we need these little things. All right, so if it's true that there's not enough, its status is that it's not enough stockpiled, then we skip doing this. And once again, this is only for... Damn it. I guess that doesn't matter, but it's only checking. I guess I'll put that in here. It only no, I'll leave it out. All right, I was gonna put that same thing I wrote elsewhere, but okay. So we have it it will skip some stuff. I'm going to put a note in where we're at here. It's for tomorrow. Where are we at? We need to check for preferred work is where we are at. Add item. We are at check for preferred work in county. We need to make sure there is enough stockpiled for each county improvements and then each county population. Whoops. So what we're going to do is that we're going to have some people working there, but if they're idle first with that thing we added in, the employed but idle type thing for like a week, then they'll quit their job. They'll be set to idle. They'll quit their job and hopefully not be rehired there. Because that's the key. We don't want them to get rehired the next day immediately if there's no goods. But this is the worry, is that we're going to have some sort of check where, let's say that there's only one. We're going to have some sort of check where there's like low, and we might have to have another status. Like, well, we could set the status to like low resources, and then it doesn't hire people until they get hired. Yeah, that's probably what we should do, actually. I think that's instead of having no resources, no goods status, it should be low goods stockpiled status, and then they won't be hired there. They will have that set if it's like below a certain amount. Yeah, that's the way we should do it. Because otherwise, we're going to have two checks, and it's just, we're checking so many things so often. So let's actually have it low. Let's do this. Let's move this to the top. And then let's make sure this is all saved. Let's push this nightmare. Ran in circles for an hour, then got nothing done. New status, a new county improvement status done. I'm going to comment or commit, and then we're going to push this. We've been on scouting equipment for a fucking 100 years. Hopefully everything that we're building here is a foundation to make our future easier. All right, that is it for me today. Thank you guys for joining me. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your